Hello everyone, welcome to my channel today. Today's going to be really interesting because we've got another amazing guest in our midst today. But before I go into the topic that we'll be looking at today, I want you to meet someone special. Please, can we meet you?
Hello everyone, my name is Damilola Alayemi. I'm a mom of two and I live in Doha, Qatar, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, we're happy to have you too. I remember I reached out to you to come to my channel today and you did not hesitate. And I was so flabbergasted. Like she's a very busy person, but she volunteered to come to my channel today. That's why her schedule. So we really appreciate you being here. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for having me too.
Okay, guys, so let's go into what we have today. Someone reached out to me and he has just graduated from uni in Nigeria and he was currently doing his NYC. And I was like, Esther, adulting is hard. Nothing prepared me for this. Like, I can't believe I'm waking up very early in the morning to go and hustle to make money. And I get home exhausted. Like, this is so difficult. I don't know how I can deal with this. Can you really help me? What can I do? What are the coping mechanisms? How have you, navigated this adulthood journey up to this point? And I just laughed. I say, you are just starting. You are just starting. You don't even know anything, right? So I was like, okay, maybe we should just talk about adulting. Like, I'm sure this is a struggle for many person today. Like, and I would say that even as an adult, I'm still navigating adulthood. It's not like it has completely vanished away, right? But of course, we can learn from each other today, and that's why we have amazing Dari to discuss adulting today because she's a mature guru in this adulting journey.
I hear you.
Two mighty people is not easy, right?
Yeah.
So, Dami, I just want to ask, like, at what point do you realize that adulting is hard, it's not easy? At what point did it hit you like, is this my life now?
Okay, so that question, funny enough, I didn't really have much issues like maybe transiting from uni to work life and all. But the part that humbled me was getting an apartment in Lagos.
Oh my god.
It was because before then I never really had to search for an apartment. I never really had to, I had somewhere I was staying before then. But when I started looking for an apartment in Lagos, and I was trying to get one around Yaba. And we all know, for those that are familiar with Lagos, we all know how that area is with Unilag, closeness to Third Mainland and all. That was
The
when I
strategy.
realized that life life can be difficult because you know honestly, it was terrible for me, to be honest. It was terrible. It was a terrible experience. Sometimes I would work. The agents didn't make it easy. And sometimes I would just think, my father, I would just
Father
think,
has a
yes, like,
mansion.
why will I now be in this situation that getting an apartment will stress me? When I had like, if from my, I didn't grow up in Lagos. It was my job that brought me to Lagos. So at that time I was kind of new in Lagos as well. So I didn't really have places to stay that much. I had options, but they were quite far and also before then I had always had somewhere to stay, except maybe uni and all. But then that situation really humbled me because one, talk about the budget. I'm like, how much am I earning? Why will I have to pay this much to get an apartment? So
Yeah,
that was one
Lagos
thing.
is
But Lagos is
expensive.
expensive and not just Yaba. And when you go through some things, you appreciate your parents more, right? You be like, so you've been living even before the opportunity to maybe get their own apartment, like own an apartment. Definitely, everybody started from somewhere, and they must have had to rent at some point. So so it made me appreciate them more. At the time, you know, searching for the budget was a problem because they'll tell you if you don't have this amount, I'm like, where am I supposed to get? I've not even worked for,
Exactly.
and then
Exactly.
you, in fact, the situation of some of the houses were not some nothing to write home about. So that
Very small, right?
very small. Some were not even. We'll see the toilet like like boxes. The kitchen, some were invested with rats, cockroaches. Some didn't even look. The one I eventually settled for. In fact, then when anybody wanted to come out, I would always give you an excuse not to visit me, except my very, very close pals then that knew what I went through. Because eventually I just had to settle for something. I didn't have
Mm.
much. The exterior of the house was You know how Lagos houses can be. But the thing is, the inner part of the house was neat, right? But the exterior was rubbish. But then I was fed up, I was tired, it was exhausting. I just, when you've been searching for months, I'd be like, which type of life is this? Because in Lagos, searching for an apartment is another,
It's a full-time job.
it's a full-time job. So I
Yeah.
think that's one thing that really stressed me out when I was starting the whole adulthood thing. And yeah, I think that's that would be it for that. Except motherhood. Motherhood is another discussion on its own. But
Yeah,
starting that
right.
phase, I think that was what really stressed me out.
That
It
one is
made me
very big,
realize that there is another type of life. So
and that you're on your own now, right?
my dear. In fact, that one he said, sometimes I'll just call my dad. And my dad, he really he wished he could help. Like, how can it be this difficult getting, we used to live in Abeokuta. It wasn't that hard getting an apartment, even with that budget. The budget I had would get me a very good one there. But yeah, eventually I was able to figure it out and I became a
Yeah.
guru in Lagos myself.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it all, right? In the process of time, you get better. And
Yeah.
thank you for that brilliant answer. And you've kind of touched on the next question I want to ask, but I will still ask it anyway, and maybe we can throw more light on it. And it's the fact that do you think that African parents prepare young people for adulthood? Like, if you compare, I mean, you lived in the UK before for a couple of years, and then you're now living in Qatar. So I guess you understand how Asia, maybe how Asia system works, African system works, and even the UK and European system. I believe you understand how it works. So, if you want to compare the African home, the traditional African home, and European or maybe other cultures like other continent like Africa, I mean sorry, like Asia, Europe and the US, if you have an idea. Do you think that African parents prepare people for adulthood as much as the Western world, or do you think that there's something lacking there?
Honestly, I don't think African parents prepare us enough for that. The Western world, some from 16 they can work, and a lot of, not even because they need the money, but it's more like what is expected of you, right? A lot of them leave their houses at that age, and they're already on their own, doing well and all. But African parents, a lot of us leave our parents' house to our husband's house. A lot
Especially
of
the
men
rich.
is when they are about getting married that they now start searching for, even if they are not living with their parents, maybe they're living with one uncle or so. I don't think they prepare us enough. But then it now depends on the individual as well. Because left to most of our parents, they want you to have that. Then a lot of them are like, I don't want you to suffer like I suffered, blah blah blah, and all. But okay, so let me use myself as an example here. My dad is the type that he will pamper you to the last thing. Like, even as I'm married now, if I still call him that, he's that type of person. So it
Yeah.
is it's not to him, it's not as per maybe spoiling the child. It just feels I can help you with this. Why stress yourself out? He's a very caring father, right? He's a very present type and all. But for me, right from time, I didn't like it. I didn't like to be pampered. I didn't like to be babied. So
You don't
um
want to sound baby girl.
yeah.
Something.
I remember when I was in secondary school, my dad would pick me up from school. I hated it. I hated it so much. I don't know why. Because the car he had then had his company logo on it. So once it comes, everybody knows they've come. And I don't, I don't like Jesus Christ. At the point I have to tell him, please, I'm fine. I'll find my way home. It was just trying to help me, like, get me home, not having to stress. But I would love
Yeah.
to trek. The transport fare, then I would love to trek home. I'm talking of like maybe like 1 hour distance. Like I'll prefer to trek home with my friends and we spend the money on the road. I just enjoy that life. I didn't like that pampering kind of thing. So for me, even before, that's why I said it wasn't so difficult navigating into the adulthood stage, because for some reasons I had to quickly get into that stage at an early, not like before uni and all.
Is it
So
because you're the first? Sorry for interjecting. Is it because you're the first?
Um, not really, just some circumstances at home then. So not
Okay.
like maybe negligence or anything negative, just because we had to. do some planning around there, and it warranted me living outside my family home. So because of that, I had to quickly like grow up. As I then, even as at my senior secondary school days, I was already waking up myself, thinking of what to eat myself and all. So I think that kind of made it easy for me, right? So not like I was
Yeah.
fending for myself, but the part where you have someone, you've not done this, you've not, I didn't really have all that. So for me, I had to release myself from my dad. Like, no, we can't keep doing this. I didn't really enjoy it much. So not like I didn't appreciate what he was trying to do, right? But personally, I just wanted to break free from all those kind of baby things. So I'll say that really made me grow up quickly. So I didn't really have that African parents like covering and all, because me myself I didn't want it. So because left to my dad, as I'm even married now with two kids, he will still do anything, right? So that, but generally I don't think African parents do enough. They don't present they don't prepare sorry please, they don't prepare us enough for, because now my sister, we are like the opposite. So now she is trying to navigate into that life, and she's not really finding it easy because she enjoyed all those
Pampering.
pampering, all those I'm in my father's house, all those things. And so yeah, that's it. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, you did. That was a brilliant answer. And I totally agree with you to a great extent that African parents don't prepare us. But I guess maybe there are some circumstances that warrant that, because I mean, if you want to compare in terms of the standard of living of the Western world with Africa, you know that standard of living is really low. The percentage of people that have money and that are well to do are quite low. So for them to quickly just release you to into adulthood, they feel like, oh no, I'm throwing this person out there, the person, and you don't know what this person is going to face. I'm not sure that my child is mature enough to handle this situation, and that's why they kind of like try to pamper. And the ones that are really really poor, I think they just push them out there, like say, go
Yeah,
and make money. And I think that's even the extreme, because they become vulnerable, like they become exposed to
a lot of
different vices. People can take advantage of them and things like that. So I believe that with the right structure, that it can get better for Africa, because I mean, a 16-year-old cannot really get a job in Nigeria. Like, what
no,
sort of job do you want to do?
totally
Like,
agree. Yeah.
nobody's going to employ you, even at 18, right? Of course, there are some, maybe some factory jobs, or maybe some like fast food. I'm not sure if they employ people that young, but I mean, they'll be looking for certification, or maybe you'll be doing something really menial or factory related.
Mm.
So it's not very easy to navigate, adulthood in Nigeria when it comes to, you'll be standing on your own feet. So this is where it becomes better in the Western world, where, of course, there's a job
Mhm.
waiting for you.
The
You
economy
can,
makes it easier
yeah,
to do that. Yeah.
yeah. And so the structure and the system is already like in place to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that, okay, if you're an adult, you can, navigate adulthood. But also, I think also the person's personality counts here, because, like me, I'm a very deep thinker. Like, I would just be thinking, okay, in the next 5 years, where am I going to be? That's my problem. So I'm already thinking, okay, what do I want to do? And not many people are like think like this, right? So even at uni, I was already thinking, what is my life after uni? What am I going to? What kind of job do I want to do? Where do I want to find myself? So those kind of like deep thinking, introspective thinking, kind of prepared me for adulthood. And I wouldn't say that I got it all right. There were times when
Mm-hmm.
I felt really exhausted,
Definitely.
right? But the fact that I was always thinking, and I was surrounding myself with the right people, I think that that
Mm-hmm.
also helped me to a great extent.
Okay. I agree. To the economy and the structure matters. Matters a lot.
So I was speaking with a friend lately, and we are talking about a movie that I'm currently seeing, and we talked about how marriage can affect maturity, how your maturity can affect marriage, and blah 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 blah. And so I just want to ask this question: do you think that marriage helps you to mature faster? Like, there's this sense of responsibility that comes in, and it kicks off, and you have to be, you have to rise up to the occasion. I know you talked about motherhood before. If you want to expand a little about it, do you think that marriage helps you to mature faster, or someone that is immature and just jumps into marriage, they'll be exposed, like their weaknesses will be exposed? Or
Mm-hmm.
do you think that, okay, with marriage, you know that, oh, I have to be an adult, I have to take decisions. And do you think that helps you to mature faster?
Okay, so are you asking like generally now or from my own experience?
Yeah, you could make it, you could personalize it, you could tell generally whatever works for you.
I think let me start with generally. Um, Marriage makes people mature faster, especially for those that maybe got married at an early age, right? We discover that life is different now. Now you have responsibilities, you have people. Maybe you even left from your parents' house where you had helps and all. You didn't have to think of what to eat or and all. When you get married as a woman now, you have to think of dinner. Oh, what do I make for dinner? You have to think of not making same meal like every day or every other day. So all those things,
Creativity.
yeah. Yeah. So you have to think of financing, you have to think of like you don't even when you have decisions to make, you have to think of your family first, right? So like before when you could just do anything and you didn't even care about the consequences and all. So I think generally marriage would make one mature faster, right? Then coming to myself now, yes, in a way, marriage made me mature better. Though I didn't get married at an early age, I got married at 30. So, and by then I was already on my own for maybe about 6 to 7 years, thereabouts. So I had experienced life to an extent. So I would say, of course, you are never ready for marriage. Like, no matter how old you think you are, no matter how mature you think you are, marriage will humble you still. So
Yeah.
not like I already had it all figured out. Of course, I was never married before. So, but to an extent, some things were kind of easy for me to just pick up and all. But the part that really, really that I would say Mary really taught me most would be my weaknesses. Right? Of course, I've always believed nobody is perfect. I'm an advocate of that. Like when people even do things, I'll just give you an example. Even me, my own is on my body. Nobody is perfect.
Everybody.
But as they say, marriage you open your yash. Things that you didn't even know, things you didn't even know about yourself. Marriage will
Yeah.
expose you, right? You'll be like, is this me or another person, right?
Can you see this?
Because you never have to live with this person, or even if in some situation maybe they live together before marriage, but it's a different thing when you're actually married, right? So for me, I think I saw some things that I didn't even know about myself as per weaknesses and all. Like some things happen, I'm like, so I had this in me before and I didn't even know it existed. So marriage made me learn a lot of things and it made me understand some of my weaknesses better. And now we are getting better at it. But marriage continue like you would work for the rest of your life. You are always learning new things, unlearning and relearning. So for me, I think it was more of that for me.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, and I agree with you. Right, marriage should help you mature faster. And so the learning journey never ends, and that's still the thing about adulthood that I will just want to throw out there. Because if you're a young person out there, you're just trying to navigate your life, you're trying to figure it out, and you're thinking, oh, will I ever get this right? I want to tell you that yes, you will get this right. It's a process of time. There's something about time and what will I call it, a teachable spirit that
Yeah.
helps you. If you are teachable and you give yourself time, you would learn on the journey, you become better. I remember when I was pregnant, I was just worried about so many things. Will I be able to push this baby? Different kind of things. I was so worried about different things. Will I be a good mother? And blah 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 blah. I was really worried. And my mom had to sit me down and say, see, I learned this thing on the journey. Nobody prepared me. Just like, see, my mother married a let's say 23, 24 or so. That's when she got married. So like nobody came to help me. I learned it. And if I, as naive as I was and as inexperienced, I was able to navigate this married thing and I'm still doing it. He said, there's nothing you can't do. And so that was like a motivation for me that like just take life as it is. Don't overburden yourself with worry
Sorry
and
to cut
thoughts.
you. I think
Yeah.
one of the most important things about marriage is what you said, like in a teachable spirit, willingness to learn, because it has to do with maturity as well. It has to, because if you think you have it all figured out, my dear, marriage will humble you. Like it will crush you.
Yeah.
It will crush
Yeah.
you completely. So one needs to have that spirit, like the teachable spirit, willingness to learn and, unlearn what you think you knew, not
Mhm.
accept that, oh, you had it all figured out before you got married, blah, 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 and all those kind of shit. No. So that is very, very important. That's very important.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for chipping that in again as well. So that's just what I'm gonna say. Adulthood is, I think it's hard. You have bills to pay. You're trying to navigate relationships. It never gets easy like that, and you learn over time. So just give yourself grace, give yourself time. Take it one day at a time, and you will get better over time. So I want to ask this question. I mean, you've already chipped in something about marriage. So what would you tell your 18-year-old self about love and responsibility?
Mm.
What would you tell yourself?
Okay, so about love.
Yeah. Or
Once you
what's
see
her?
that there's no way here, don't hope. Like, run. Because a lot of times we know, especially when you're in a relationship, like you're hoping it will end up in marriage or something serious, right? A lot of times you know that this thing, I'm just patching it, but you just keep, maybe you change, maybe things will get better, maybe with time, maybe once you see that this thing is not, because before I got married, I had two very serious relationships that lasted for years, years. And honestly, I won't say I didn't see the, not like they were bad, right? But
Red flags.
what?
Were they red flags? Strong red flags or
No,
green
not
red?
like strong red flags,
Amber.
but so one of them was more like he wasn't really ready. He wasn't at that point. Yes, he wanted a serious relationship, but he wasn't ready to get married yet. So I
Commit.
just
I
kept,
think men has
what?
commitment issue.
Yeah,
Hearing that men have commitment issue, yeah.
lots, a lot. And when they are not ready, trust me, they are not ready. There's nothing. I learned that there's nothing you can do. If you like, clean up, meet all their family members, like let everybody know you. If they are not ready, they are not ready.
Our wife.
So he one was not ready, and I knew, right? Not like he was playing, but we were very serious. It was very good. That was the only point. So I just kept hoping, oh, maybe at some point he will be ready. It was open at some point. So he actually wanted, but it was for him, it was just something of the mind, right? Like he just couldn't put himself in that position yet, even though he actually wanted to as well, but he just didn't see himself. So eventually that was what caused the separation, because eventually after, like, I'm talking of years, maybe like 4, 5 thereabouts years kind of. So once you see that this person is not ready, and when you see a man that is ready, from the first day you meet, you know. Do you get?
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Mm-hmm.
one thing I'll tell myself about that. Then when it comes to responsibility, I'll say, in terms of being married, right? I'll say enjoy your while single, enjoy your life, right? Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't be too, because, and okay, so maybe in my next life, if there's anything like that, and I'm opportune to get married early, honestly, I'll give myself a couple of years before having kids.
Yeah.
Because one, like I said earlier, I got married at 30, so there was no time to wait, like, oh, maybe let's wait for 1, 2, 3 years, and no, that wasn't an option for us. So because obviously my husband is older than I am. So, now I feel like, it's like I didn't even enjoy. And immediately after school, I got a job with Access Bank. Access Bank drilled me. Like there was even no time for fun. There was no time for, it just feels like, I didn't really leave that.
Enjoy your youth.
Yeah, so now it's just like, from one, like immediately from school, I started working. I really started thinking of money. I started thinking of, I won't say, yes, it was a good thing that I got a job early, but if you had that break, maybe you were even in your parents' house for some time, you didn't have to think of anything. You didn't have to think of rent. You didn't have to, like, you still had that. But
Like me.
but for me, I was just jumping into it like from one to the other. So I started being responsible. Immediately I finished school, I was lucky to get a good job. So I started being responsible for myself, like fully from a very young age. I did. So not like if I called of course, my dad was always ready to help, except on, I don't think there was any need for that, right? That I would call him for help and not, because my job was okay. So I was responsible at an early age. And I feel like I've been responsible for 100 years. Like, it just feels like, when you've just had a lot on. So yeah, I think that would be it. Like that period where you have like not to really have so much on your mind, enjoy it. Don't start thinking, yes, it's good to plan for the future, but at the same time be gentle on yourself, right? Don't start thinking, I'm this age, I've not seen, you will do it for the rest of your life. And you get tired of You will get tired of doing it, and at that point, there's no going back. So I think, yeah, I think that I hope that answers your question to an extent.
Yeah, that answers it really well. It means that you should enjoy your youth and take it one step at a time. If there are things you want to do, like travel,
Yeah.
do the have
Because now,
just
sorry, I forgot to mention, I have two kids. One is 3.5, the other one is just going to be 2. So now we can't even go, and unfortunately we live where we don't have any families around. In fact, right from time before I even left Nigeria, I had both of them in Nigeria. I was not lucky to have families around, unlike someone here that had
like
all
me.
the that had all the opportunity and enjoyed it well. So whenever you have to go out, the kids are there, and now it's even worse here. So maybe in Nigeria you could get help or something, but here now it's different. Though it's also here in Qatar, it's also difficult getting. It's kind of affordable in an extent, but we have to get maybe foreigners, and I'm not really open to that yet. Still,
Also,
yeah. So now you have to think of them when you go out. One as you are just running around catching them, all those. So it's just so. And in fact, sometimes when you also, by the time you think of the number of bags you are packing, this and that, you just go. Let's just sit at home and see a movie, and you just end up canceling plans here and there. It's so hard for you to even have a girls' time out and all.
yeah.
So yeah,
So
but
do you miss being a baby? Do you miss going back to being your baby, your daddy's pampered girl right now? Like, is
I
that the life you
think.
dream
Hmm,
of?
Well, I won't say I miss it per se because I'm not really much of that. But if I had even if it's just for a week, right? Let me just do that maybe for a week and come back to my reality. I will grab it. Like I will grab it with the
Yeah,
whole of my heart. But for now, I'm grateful for the kids. Of course, I'm very happy with them. Happy for motherhood is a gift which I'm really grateful to God for. But I mean, everyone knows how difficult it can be and how it changes your whole life. So yeah, but they say it gets better with time. As they grow older, you're able to pick up your life gradually. So I think gradually we are getting there bit by bit and all.
yeah. Happy to hear that. So it just means that, I mean, when it comes to adulthood, it's not something you can really run away from. I mean,
No
you,
running away.
you can
No,
choose to
no
shy away
coming
from it.
back.
It will definitely hit you, right? Bills will be there to pay. And if you want to get married, there's a new level of responsibility that you have to like embrace, whether it's the man, whether it's the woman. The man also has task of what are we gonna
Yeah. Providing
what
for the
food
family.
caring for providing. Yeah, the man has a task of caring for the family, making sure that his family are well fed, they are comfortable, all those things are just realities of life. And it might be also good for schools to be able to put this as part of the curriculum when it comes to if you are in secondary school, if you're in uni, talk about home management, business management, life responsibility, entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
And I think this is a good area that it would be good to also prepare young people for,
Yeah.
because adulthood is real, is real, and you have to
Yeah.
just embrace it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we're almost coming to the end of this podcast, but I want to ask you one final question. So the last question I want to ask is what part of navigating relationships, and when I talk about relationship, I'm not referring to only romantic ones, it could also be the ones you have with your fellow girls and all of that. So what part of navigating relationship did nobody prepare you for when it comes to adulthood? Because I know that when it comes to adulthood, you also have to be emotionally intelligent, also know how to speak to people, manage people, and you have to this is the point where those that used to be your very close friends, you guys might have issues and everything. So what part of navigating relationships did nobody prepare you for that you had to like learn with adulthood? And what advice do you have for people, maybe girls and guys out there trying to navigate this hard relationship part of their life?
Okay, for me, I'll say everyone is busy. When you're an adult, everyone is, even the jobless are busy because you are looking for a job. So that takes your time. So maintaining relationships as an adult for me, I think it has been the hardest part. Right from time, I've not really been the, I love, like, I can think of you from morning till night. And, I just have you in mind. I want to reach out to you. I want to call you. I want to check up on you. But I don't know. I just end up not doing it at the end of the day. Not because I don't want to, but maybe I would have forgotten, I'm occupied with one thing, or I just said, oh, maybe I'll do it later, and that will be it. So that's been a very, in fact, if you ask me that, that's the first thing I'll say, like, keeping up with people is like one of the hardest for me. And when you're an adult, you have to be very intentional. I'm not even talking about marriage now, like you said. Keeping relationships, you have to be very intentional because life will take you away. That's the truth. Except if you guys live very close by or so. But as long as you guys don't really live close by, maybe you don't even have any reason to actually speak every day or maybe as often as you would wish, it is easy for you guys to grow apart. So for me, the hardest part has been keeping up with my friends. One, I'm not the type with large circle of friends, but the few friends I have, I hold them dear to my heart and I try my best. So I've really had to learn that, like, right, I know, like, this is me speaking to myself. Reaching out to people is not my strength, but I have to. I have to be intentional about it, right? I have to keep up with my friends. I have to check up on them. Sometimes you might be like, if this person too didn't check up, you don't know what the person is going through. And that's your
Yeah.
friendship. You don't have to wait for the other person to check up on you. And there's one of my friends that she's blessed in that area. And the only reason why, and in fact I learned from her, the only reason why my friendship with her is still standing strong today is because it is her strength. In fact, sometimes we might not speak, but she would always be the one. And she would always be the one to reach out. She'll always check up on me. And at the point, I know how to speak to myself like, see this person, right? It's not like she doesn't have a life. So try. So I learned from her, and ever since then, I've been better. So life will not just give you that. Well, maybe some people have that free time, but I'm not opportune to have that free time, right? So I have to be intentional. I have to make out time to keep up with my friends. I have to make out time. Sometimes I'm working in the kitchen and calling them. I'm on my way to an appointment. So I just have to, I don't wait for that free time to come. So that's one thing, because before you know it, you guys are apart. And yes, I feel we all need people. Even the introverts, you need people. I'm an introvert to an extent, but I've learned something. Please permit me to say, Apostle Joshua Selman, that's one thing we would always teach out there. Like, you need people. You cannot live by yourself.
Yeah.
If you have all the money, if you have everything. And I've learned, that's one thing that I can say I have really learned from it. Because before now, not out of pride or anything, but I like my space. I don't like people disturbing me. Like, even on my birthdays, except my very close people, like, don't worry, I know you. Like, just wish me well. You're like communicating with people just feels like a lot of work for me.
Right?
Yeah, it feels like a lot of hard work for me. So I feel like, well, what do I need? I'm okay. We don't really need to talk much. I know, but I've learned from him, and that's one thing that I've really tried to build since I relocated to Qatar, like building connections, which to the glory of God has been going well. Of course, I've learned, I've unlearned, I've relearned, and I'm adjusting as well. So that is one thing for me. Then second, and another thing is, for us as adults, at some point you might feel you need maybe you need to make, I'm not sure if this directly answers your question, but that is one thing I've also learned about relationships as an adult, right? So maybe making, for any reason you think you need to make new friends or connections, or you just feel it is hard as an adult. I think that is one of, well, it is not the hardest, right? But making new friends as an adult or new connections as well as an adult is very hard. So you have to be prepared to do the work. It's not like when you were younger, then you didn't even have values, you didn't have anything that comes, or we're very gullible. You like this person, you follow. You like that person, you follow. Along the line, you make another friend, you drop this one, you continue, going to school every day. You had the opportunity of meeting people here and there, and before you know it, you've made several friends. But as an adult, it is hard because when we have values, we've learned, there are some things that no, I can't do this. I've experienced this in the past and I'm not ready to go this. So making new connections as an adult is something that I think is one of the hardest in that area as well, because the other person too already has some values. It takes a while for you guys to incline properly and you are married with kids, you need to be conscious of the type of friends you make, because one way or the other you bring them into your home. You consider your kids, you consider your spouse, you consider, you consider your finances. Maybe you don't want someone that will make you, maybe you've had financial issues in the past, you've had to learn in the hard way, so you just have to, before you make friends, you need to.
Intentional, be intentional.
Yeah, yeah. So it still comes down to intentionality, but I think making friends as an adult is on Instagram I would really see it. I see some posts where people say, "Oh, if you are looking to make new friends, job this is like mom's pages," and you see lots of people commenting, "Ah, I live here, I need a friend." I say, so until recently, when I understood well, because remember I said, so before I relocated to Qatar, I didn't really have any need to make new friends and all. But now I'm thinking of it. So now I can understand why people are always happy to respond to posts like that, because it can be so difficult. And then you have your job, you have
Yeah,
your things, you have your life. Like it's just so hard. So I think yeah. So to make, if for any reason you need to make new friends as an adult, be prepared to do the work, be prepared to learn, and some might not work. So just move on and not like jump onto the next person, but learn from and then try to make adjustments and yeah. So I
yeah,
don't know if that directly answers the question, but making relationship as an adult, those are the two things I can say really
yeah.
quickly from me.
That's so profound. I totally agree with you, and yeah, it resonates with me deeply, especially the part where you talk about support system, that people need support system. So one of the things that will help you navigate adulthood is the people you have in your corner. Are they motivational? Are they able to like motivate you into what you want to do? Are they able to inspire you? Do you have people of like-minded, passion, values, like you said? So if you have people that are also driving you, that are also like making progress, that also experience some things, they can actually I'm passing this thing to you guys, can be working together on how you can become better, improve yourself. So it is important that to know that you cannot do this adulthood thing alone. You need
At
people.
all.
That's why I got Adami to say, let us do this thing together. Collaboration is so important. Like, you need people around you. No matter how introverted you are, like you said, there is nothing like having somebody in your corner that that's there to cheer you on. And it's not only about your spouse. Maybe you're married or you are dating. Your spouse cannot feel that void. They cannot feel that emotional support, intellectual support, spiritual support. You need people around you in your corner. So another way for you to navigate adulthood is to make sure that you have, emotional and community support around. Even your family can be there too for you. So don't ignore them. And there's something that you mentioned that I want to talk about. The fact that you said that be prepared for no. I think somebody reached out to me. Oh no, somebody made a post. One of the teens that I'm trying to mentor. She like, why is it so difficult to make friends and all of that? So I just had to chat her like, okay, what's happening? That did you try to reach out? What's the best way of making feel like, okay, just reach out to people and be prepared for no. So I reached out, the person didn't even answer. And later, when the person answered, I gave one answer, one response, and stopped talking. This person's in the UK. Of course, you know the way the UK is in this.
Different,
People
yeah.
are not very friendly in the UK. So like, I was like, I know how you feel right now, and I know how frustrating it can be. And this person is just like a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
And like, this is life. Sometimes you reach out to people, you want to be their friend, but they don't want
Yeah,
to be
but they
your
just see
friend.
your friends.
You can't force them, right? You
Yeah,
can't force them to be
can't
your
force
friend. And that's
them.
for the adults to just accept it that way. Especially, that you're a person of value. Sometimes it might be that maybe your value doesn't align with theirs, or
Yeah.
maybe they're just a snob, or maybe you need to work on yourself. Just identify what part. Is it that, okay, maybe I'm not good enough for this person? And I'm not saying you should look down on yourself or start, having
Mhm.
some esteem issues. No, I'm saying that, okay, do I need to upgrade myself to an extent so that I can be accessible to some people that I want to, access, or is it just that this person is just a snob or does not see value in me? So you just have to identify that part and improve on it. And time will not permit us to talk about finances and how you have to navigate adult finances in adulthood. Because I mean we have to wrap up now and it's getting too long. So maybe we'll talk about that in another video. I'm just going to wrap up with navigating finances in adulthood. No, I think we just like, that's a very deep one, because we
Yeah.
talk about delayed gratification, learning professional skills, upskilling, improving yourself. It's a whole ball game. Like, it's a whole ball game. But maybe we'll have another session. We'll talk about how you can navigate, your finance, how you can improve your finances, how you can get better when it comes to, adulthood and bills and responsibilities. But it's been really interesting today. Thank you, Dami, for your time. I know I've taken your time and you have so many important things to do. I'm really, really
Right.
sorry for that. But I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much. You don't know how happy I am to have you here
Thank
today.
you for the
And
honor too, because it's an honor to be on your page. So yeah,
yeah, thank you.
thank you
Thank
for
you so
that
much
as
for
well.
your time today.
Mhm.
God bless you. So do you have any final words to that person that is like, I don't know how hard to do this, I can't cope with it. Do you have any final words to tell the person and any other person that would, be in this season? Because I mean, like I said, you are a pro, yeah. You're getting better at it.
Then,
Like
is there anybody that is ever a pro in this thing?
yeah, so any
Uh,
final words?
so I'll say one, take it a step at a time. Because the things you worry about today, in the next couple of months, weeks, that you will just discover that this thing has actually been resolved, right? So one, take
Yeah.
it a step at a time and enjoy life. Don't overburden yourself. Trust God. Okay, that should have been my first. Trust God. Anything you might be going through, go to God, pray about it. If you can seek the face of God, which will be very good, seek God's face. In fact, I would say anything at all, seek the face of God because it makes your life easier. God knows everything. So it makes I'm sorry if I'm a bit spiritual here, but I think
That's okay.
it's something that would really make this whole adulthood thing easier, right? So secondly, take it one step at a time, live life, be happy. Don't drown yourself in all your worries. Yeah, maybe house rent. This is not me saying don't make efforts, right? This is not me saying don't try to resolve your issues, but don't kill yourself. Don't get depressed, right? Because one way or the other, God will always settle us. So just enjoy life as much as you can. Be happy, and be grateful to God for even if what you have is just something little. It is someone else's prayer point. So grateful to God for wherever you are and work on yourself. That's another thing. Keep working on yourself. Don't ever think you have it all figured out in terms of career, in terms of attitude, personal development, spirituality. Just keep working on yourself. You can take certification because you never can tell when it will be needed. So don't think, oh, this is the best I can be. There's always room for improvement in every area, So yeah, I think that will be it from.
Yeah, brilliant answer. I will take this one. Take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
So, guys, thank you for watching to the very end. I really appreciate you. I know you enjoyed the session, didn't you? You did. So, if you did, please leave a comment. Leave a comment. Please, you guys need to write on my comment section. Please stop being shy. Okay, if you cannot comment, please like this video so that YouTube can recommend this to more people. And if you like this podcast edition where I get to invite people to my channel, if you prefer it to me just sitting alone and just ranting and talking different things, please let me know as well so I can have more podcast kind of sessions like this. So thank you for watching. If you're new, please subscribe to my channel and share this with your family and friends. Until next time, bye